And on trade, I have decided for purposes of fairness that I will charge a reciprocal tariff, meaning whatever countries charge the United States of America, we will charge them, no more, no less. In other words, they charge us a tax or tariff, and we charge them the exact same tax or tariff. Very simple.
21 minutes past the hour, you're watching Wake Up America. That's it. He's done. He's saying America will no longer be ripped off. The president laying out his plans for reciprocal tariffs. Now, the White House claims the U.S. pays way more than we get from other foreign countries, including Brazil. Take a look at this. They impose an 18% tariff on ethanol made here in the U.S. We only charge 2.5% on theirs. The EU has a 10% tariff on imported cars from the U.S., but we only charge 2.5% from cars imported from over there. In India, it placed a whole 100% tariff on U.S. motorcycles, but U.S. only charges 2.4% for their motorcycles. For more on this, let's welcome in West Virginia Congressman and member of the House Appropriations Committee, Riley Moore. Congressman, you've been there. You're an outspoken supporter of these tariffs, including introducing legislation last month, which would give the president even more authority when negotiating trade with other nations. The president was pretty clear. He's tired of being ripped off.
Well, I think everybody is tired of being ripped off at this point. Thanks so much for having me on. The United States has done a very good job at creating free trade, but for other countries. That's the problem here, right? So these other countries have had unfettered access to the greatest consumer market on the face of the planet, the United States, while there's no reciprocity for our manufacturers here to be able to export or have access to those markets. So that's not fair. And as President Trump has said, he is for free trade, but he's also for fair trade. And my legislation would give the president even greater latitude to impose reciprocity with these countries, specifically as it relates to non-tariff trade barriers. So those are non-tariffs, which could be subsidies, it could be regulations set in those countries that also prohibit access to those markets. And that's a really important aspect of this that we can't forget.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, and this is where there's a little bit of a I would say, an intra-party war, in family war with old-line conservatives, new America First policy. They keep using the word trade war. They worry this is going to start a trade war. I think it's really more about a freedom war, a fairness war, and can we be treated equally on the world stage?
No, that's exactly right. No, this isn't going to spark a trade war. If you've seen the president's ultimate objective here, which has worked with the other tariffs that he has imposed, is that it's getting countries to lower their tariffs. This is going to create more free trade for the United States. And as I said at the outset, we have created free trade just for other countries. It's time to put America first. It's time to put the American worker first and the American manufacturer and business here in our country and help them sell abroad and not just have us being taken advantage of by these other countries.
You know, Congressman, I think that's one of the things that many people don't get when they hear tariffs, trade war. They think about prices. They think about rates we charge versus rates they charge. This is really about American jobs and American companies. I mean, if Harley Davidson was treated fairly and could sell hogs in India, they would. More people, more Americans getting work, or GM, or Ford being treated as equally as Mercedes and BMW. I mean, this is about American jobs.
It's exactly right. It's about American jobs. And, you're certainly not going to walk down the streets of Munich, Germany and see an F-150 pickup truck. That's certainly clear. But we see German cars all over here, all over the United States. And we saw those tariffs that you flashed on the screen right before I came on here. But there are other non-tariff trade barriers that are part of Europe that make it difficult for us to access those markets. So, yeah, this is putting the American worker first, the American manufacturer first. We are trying to reindustrialize this country. Like my state, West Virginia, we have been gutted by free trade deals such as NAFTA, letting China into the World Trade Organization that has crushed our steel industry. It's time to do something for the people here in this country. Donald Trump knows that better than anybody else who's been elected in my lifetime, and he is putting us first, finally.
And real quickly, last 15 seconds, Congressman, do you have any concern if this even causes a temporary small blip in prices, or do you think the American people would understand it?
I think that they would understand it, and this isn't going to skyrocket prices. Ultimately, this is going to be used as a negotiating tool to make sure that we are able to have access to those markets that have access to us. So, no, ultimately, what this is going to do is lead to actual wage growth in this country. So people's relative buying power is going to go up rather than staying stagnant and going down as it has over the last several decades.
All right, Congressman Riley Moore, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.